we haven't seen each other in about 18 years. And this is a pretty special moment for both of us. You know, I never thought I would be able to see you again. You know, I pretty much wrote you off as dead when I left prison. I never thought I'd ever see you again in my life because, you know, where we were, it wasn't the best conditions. You know, there was always a war going on, and there was always people trying to extort and hunt people down. So it was just, you know, the worst of the worst. I have to say, you know, I'm glad to see you're alive. I'm glad to see you thriving. And we're here to hear your story. We're here to listen to what you went through, you know, how you went through it. How did you survive? And not only the prison in Ecuador, but then you also came out on parole. You know, you lived in Ecuador for a whole bunch of years. So your story is special and unique because I can't think of any American that went through what you did. I didn't do it. And your story is just something that everybody should hear. And we're educating the public here. So I'm going to let you go with your story. You know, I'm happy to see you, my friend, and the floor is yours.
Well, first of all, man, it is really good to see you again. You know, we were good friends back in all that.
That's right.
Anyway, you said you wanted me to start kind of in the beginning, you know, how it all started.
Yeah, tell us your childhood, what you went through. You know, just start from the beginning, where you grew up and all that good stuff, man.
All right. Well, first of all, you know, I might talk a little bit heavy about my dad, but you know, just want everybody to know he was a good guy. He just had a heavy hand, right? But anyway, what happened? Well, let's start from the beginning. So, well, I was around three or so. You know, my dad got a divorce, so we started moving around a lot. You know, he was a little bit in the game before that, but you know, I really didn't know about it until you know later on. You know, hitting part two.
Okay.
But anyway, I first started in it because well, we moved around a lot, like I mentioned before, because we started out in Cincinnati, Ohio. You know, I was born in Cincinnati, and around when I was 3. My dad, you know, he got a divorce. My sister stayed with my mom, and we went out and we started moving around. I think one of the first places he went was he went to Tulsa, Oklahoma. Nice, not that great of a place, but he went to Tulsa, Oklahoma, leaving me with my grandparents. Well, you know, he went out to try to look for a job, where to live, and all that. Yeah, he was a chef, and well, before that, he was a big Harley guy. So you know, he had the Harley buddies. He hung out a lot with these guys that have wings on their backs. We can't really say the name. So, we got out to. Well, he first went out to Tulsa, and then he came pick me up. We drove out to Tulsa. We stayed out there for a while. And well, he was always playing, you know, dabbling a little bit with drugs, and you know, a single guy, you know, getting into the parties and you know, finding crazy women in crazy situations. And you know, later on, you know, there was a flood in Labor Day. I think it was Labor Day. I don't remember what exact year it was, but it was a huge flood in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So that's whenever he got with my ex-stepmom. She lived downstairs, and I guess she went upstairs to go get out of the water and never left. Right. And well, they got together, and I'm just going through the childhood stages until it started coming together a little bit. So we were there for maybe about 2 or 3 years, and we moving from Tulsa into a small town called Coweta, Oklahoma. Right. Okay. Yeah, Coweta, Oklahoma is kind of known for a lot of meth. It's all messed up.
Okay.
So, there's a lot of, you know, they made a lot of meth out there, and you know, as a kid, I really didn't see it too much until later on. But we were there until maybe I was around close to 8 years old. And then we moved around. We started moving again. We went to Tampa, Florida. We went to we lived in Middletown, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And one of my favorite places was out under the bridge in Brooklyn. Around the Brooklyn Heights area.
Okay.
And it's well, you're from New York. Growing up around there, you play different games. We used to get to find the syringes in the park and throw them up and stuff. You did that too, didn't you?
I don't know what kind of games you were playing, but I never did that, sir.
Well, Dad was studying over there at some kind of culinary arts school. So that's why we lived out there. I was there until I was about 12, 13 or so. I was pretty much a good kid, but we were broke. Asking Dad did the best he could, but I hated asking him for money. So somebody's always offering a kid a job out there. You want to carry this pillow across town? Okay, pillowcase. You want this backpack, this bag of bread. And you and me know that it had a little bit more than pillow or bread or whatever. So start moving like that, and making a little bit of money. And some people think it's some kind of job, but it's really not. I don't know if you've ever had this happen. You go out for school, hungry as hell, pocket full of crack, waiting for somebody to come buy something, so you go buy some shit before school.
Danny, let me ask you: did you have any brothers and sisters?
I did. My sister, I had my big sister. She died in a car wreck. Whenever we were out there.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, and I got my brother, my little half brother. Yeah, he's doing pretty good. He's got 3 girls and stuff. He still lives in Coweta.
Yeah, that's the big guy I saw in the pictures, right?
Yeah, that's the refrigerator with arms and legs.
All right.
And we moved around, but anyway, that's really uneventful. Through those years, just learned a lot. And I went into martial arts when I was a kid, so that kind of kept me out of a lot of things until around the high school years. Yeah, you start getting in little groups, getting tattooed, getting some muscle behind you. It's like there was something that happened that kind of turned me into the gangs and stuff. There was these three punk guys that was around where my sister lived. And I think I was around 12 or 13. I don't remember. These 3 dudes, they raped my sister.
Wow.
And they raped her, they got her pretty bad. They beat her up pretty good. She had stitches in some places that we've never seen on each other. So, yeah. And I was a skinny kid. I really couldn't, there was really no way I could really get at them without having some help. And you tell your friends, my little cowboy friends, is like, yeah, I'll do it. And then, where I run up on somebody and get my ass kicked. And plus, this was far away. She lived in Dayton, Ohio at that time.
Okay.
So what I didn't know what to do, so I stole some money from my dad. Went out there and joined a gang. I got into the gang, got jumped in, got beat up a little bit.
Danny, what was the gang's name?
Huh?
What gang did you join?
Well, it was a branch of the Disciple Mafia.
Okay.
And we got a little bit of help, and ended up finding those guys. But the initiation was kind of shit because, what I wanted to do was I wanted to kill these guys. I wanted to burn them alive. They messed up my sister.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll do whatever. It's like, what do you do to get in? It's like, you get jumped in. And he goes, you jumped in. This ain't the Crips. He goes, it's not a teenage gang you're getting into. And I go, what we got to do? He goes, you know how to shoot? I said, yeah, I grew up shooting. He goes, all right, here's shoot a couple of these bottles. All right, I shot the bottles. He goes, hey, can you do it blindfolded? And I said, yeah, I guess I could do it blindfolded. So he put a blindfold on me. wait a second. I was like, all right, you ready? All right, point. All right, shoot. And I shot 3 times. I'd never heard glass break. So, and then they took off the mask, and I see some guy with a bullet here, a bullet over here, and one right here going through his stomach.
Oh man.
Yeah, and yeah, I was 12. So then they're like,
you were 12 years old?
12, 13, yeah.
Oh my goodness. And what did you feel at that moment?
I felt like I just went to hell. I mean,
what was going through your mind as a 13-year-old? That's crazy.
I'm in trouble. That's like, have you ever it's like one time playing with a friend, I actually accidentally cut his hand with a knife, and and there was no way he was getting out of it without getting stitches. And I felt my heart drop. I think I'm dead. I'm gone. It's
yeah.
Like, so that was basically the same feeling. It's like I'm dead. I'm gone. I'm stuck. If these guys ever say what I did, I'm hemmed up. It's over. And I'm a 13-year-old boy, and all I'm doing, I watched 21 Jump Street when I was a kid. So, what am I thinking? I might get some, 30-year-old teenager coming through my high school trying to get close to me and then take me to jail. Right?
Let me ask you, Danny, did this gang, did they make you do anything like sell drugs? Did they make you like extort people? I mean, what would you do for the gang?
Well, in the beginning, they had me running around some drugs, right? I had to do that for a couple of weeks, and then they helped me out with a few guys to go get these guys that got my sister. We found 2 of them. There were 3.
Okay.
And they basically held them down while I just beat the crap out of them, tortured them. There was really nothing, I already felt like I was over, so
okay.
I was lost. So tortured the guys, cut off his nipple, beat him, and they were known in the neighborhood. I remember some police was trying to get in, and there was a multitude of people that didn't let the police come in, and they basically dragged me out the back of the group, and we ran off. And I don't know. And rumor has it that one guy was in a coma for a long time, and the other one went crazy.
Wow.
So I was like, at least. And the other one, he's probably still dreaming of me. I hope to see him one day. Well, no. Now let's say, became a saint. So not really thinking.
Let me ask you this: Were you going to school? Were you in high school at this time, or around what age is this?
This is 12, 13. So I was, I went to school, but I would miss a lot. They would, but in the schools in the city, they didn't really care. It's like,
back in the day, it was different.
Yeah, they didn't really care. But when you come back in, they'll hit you with truancy. They'll give you a bunch of homework and school suspension. That didn't matter.
Yeah.
And I mean, one of the best parts is like one of the teachers was my client. So, so I had good grades and always had a hall pass.
Nice.
But that was around that time when we was living around Pennsylvania. Between Pennsylvania and Tennessee, I think it was. And then we moved back. We moved back to Coweta, Oklahoma. Now Oklahoma, I don't know if you know about the place. It's really kind of hard. It's really kind of tough. It's a tough city because there's not. What kind of work you got? You can be a welder. You can be a plumber. You can carry rocks. You can dig ditches. There's really be a cook. There's really not a lot of professional life there.
Straight up manual labor.
Exactly. I mean, you can break your back, become a chef, or have people breaking their backs for you.
I saw a documentary once about Oklahoma and the gangs that were there, and it was just taking over the entire place. Mm-hmm. And I mean, there were just shootings every day. Rivals in the same city or same town just going at each other. It was crazy. I remember it was on HBO. I don't remember the name, but I mean, it was pretty crazy documentary.
Yeah, it was usually families or meth groups because, out there it was meth, or is. There's meth everywhere.
It's just a drug of choice out there, huh?
I think it's just because it's easy and cheap to make.
Do you know how to make it?
Of course.
Really? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, how to make it? Well, they
Go ahead.
well, it's made out of iodine crystals, ether, and like Sudafed. They use a lot of like cold medicine.
Okay.
They would make that all around, but I didn't really. I mean, I can make it, but I didn't really get into it because I didn't like it.
Okay. Are there different ways of making it? You know, do certain people make it differently, or is just one method of making it? Everybody does it the same.
Well, from what I've seen, there's one like base method of making it, but
Okay.
everybody does like different like procedures with it. It's like you
Okay.
know, there's a part when they got the tube in there and it's going into the mix with the iodine crystals, and they're like it's foaming up. And you know, there was some rival sending a video to another rival. I saw this
Okay.
on YouTube, and he was like, "Hey, look, this is how it's done right." And the police got a hold of the video and was like, "Hey, that's great, we got evidence." And they took
Oh man.
he went to jail for a long time. I think it's 25 years for that.
Wow. That's like my favorite show, Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad. Yeah, it's just like that. I mean, that was probably around that was the Arkansas, Oklahoma area, because they would start out by doing like in a house somewhere, and the stuff stinks. It smells like pure ether when they're
Wow.
making it. And if you don't have ventilation inside there, the fumes will kill you.
Wow.
And I don't know how more people did get caught because I'm serious, you can smell that shit a mile away.
That's crazy.
But luckily, you know, when I was a kid, well, we'll back up a little bit. I was in school, and I remember I got a bad grade one time, and you know, my dad come and smacks me with the belt, and I said, "Is that all you got?" And I proceeded. He got rid of the belt. I remember he took a ping pong paddle, smacked me with the ping pong paddle. It broke. So I got this other ping pong. You remember the ping pong paddles with the little rubber ball on it?
Yep, I know.
Yeah, he had a plastic one. That shit didn't break. He hit me with that. I mean, it was like he grabbed a hold of my hair, and my legs would fly out from underneath me. And you know, plus I was egging him on. Is that all you got? It doesn't hurt. So he hit me in the face with it, and then in the back. So I was black and blue about from here down to about the back of my knee.
Okay.
Whenever I was, you know, I was in school. I was probably around. It was fifth, sixth grade, something like that. And the DHS came in. Well, I used to talk to a counselor to get out of class. It's math class. Hey, I got a therapist. I got a counselor. Talk about school. So I would leave, but then she would see I couldn't sit down. And I think I saw a bruise come, you know, right here before you tried to block the paddle.
Yep.
And they said, "Can I see?" And well, anyway, they started taking, you know, looking at me, taking my clothes off.
Oh no.
And you know, it started with black and blue and all that. And they called DHS. And you know, I don't know. I'd rather get beat than have a bunch of strange people taking my clothes off and take pictures of me. I was thinking to myself, I was like, is this thing gonna end up on some asshole's computer? I mean, because seriously, they took my clothes off and they were taking pictures of my back and all that, and wanted me to do a little video. It's like, yeah, my name is Danny, and I've been abused. And they took me. DHS took me to an all black foster in Oklahoma.
Wow.
So that's when I got, you know, I dabbled, but that's when, you know, you take a class, you take a course, and then you go to the university.
Yeah.
So
you went to college real quick at a very young age.
Yeah, in that foster home, I was the youngest guy and the only white guy. And in Coweta, I didn't even know what it meant. And no, not racist. I love the jokes. I'm not racist. But I seen a swastika, and I kind of like how the symbol is.
Okay.
And as kids, I scratched a bunch of like a row of swastikas down my arm. It was 6 swastikas, and we walk into this place, I walk into this foster home, all black guys, older teenagers, you know, guys like 16, 17, getting ready to get kicked out of there. And they're all Crips. They have CC burned in their arm.
Yeah.
They do with a clothes hanger. And they go, "Hey, what are you down with? We're down with this." And I didn't have nothing except for the swastikas. And I was like, I'm down with this. And, you know, I didn't even watch TV. I didn't even know what fucking Crips and Bloods and all that stuff was. And I was in that, you know, I knew of the gang, but, you know, when I did that, and this is before, the foster home was before the, you know, the street gang. So I had these swastikas there. I was like, I'm down with this. And they go, really? And next thing I know, I just see this big hand just go, wow. And got beat, well, you know, I got stepped on, like they call it back home, the Brooklyn Stomp. You know, everybody comes and gets kicked in. And then, you know, later on, I was getting my ass kicked every day. And I went calling. I remember the guy's name was Ricky, the guy that was the gang guy, right?
Okay.
So, all right, I'm getting twisted. We're all on the time frame, getting all that stuff here. All right, so I got the foster home. Let's just stick with the foster home. The foster home, I had the swastikas, and I was starting to get my ass kicked a lot. So, but anyway, you know, after some time, we're there and started, you know, kind of making friends. It was like, hey, you want to become a Crip? I was like, nah, I really can't. But then it's like, all right, well, you got to earn your keep somehow. And it was a farmhouse. I remember the foster dad was Baptist pastor.
Wait, let me ask you this. Were you the first Crip member with the swastika in Oklahoma? Probably, right? And a white kid? Oh my God, this is crazy. All right, keep going.
Dumb. you make some decisions and then you kind of joke about it later. I got a lot.
like we're doing right now, talking about all the dumb stuff we did as young dumb kids.
Yeah, man. That one was a good one. What got me there probably saved my life. In a weird sense of speaking, because we both almost died there a couple times. But well, we got in there with the swastika, and they was beating. We had to earn your keep. Okay, I'm getting back on track. They said you got to earn your keep, and this is, like I said, it's a foster home with the foster dad, which is a pastor of a Baptist church in Wagner, Oklahoma, right, and his wife. Now, and there was nothing to do or do anything except for you could ride bikes, like maybe 2 hours to go into town, and then that's when we got into trouble and shit. Or you can go and try to get into these farmhouses and barns and steal saddles. So these guys, they went to go try to steal a couple saddles from somewhere, and I think somebody wore my shoes. I didn't wear any. I didn't ever go out this time. But the way you earn your keep, I'm gonna tell you how I earned my keep that day. Well, they got caught stealing these saddles because they had the saddles, hidden away and behind the foster home somewhere. And, you know, the farmer came over, they went looked around, and they found them. And they were saying, hey, it's shoes with a circle. And on the bottom of my shoe, well, right here, they had the shoe, but it had the circle on the shoe. Yep. It was me. And I'm thinking to myself, I could barely carry one of these things. It didn't matter. So the way the foster dad in this place kept discipline, it was with a garden hose.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah. So, you know, it's like getting hit with a garden hose. Either way, it didn't hurt as bad as my dad did. You know, my dad had a little bit. He made me tough because otherwise, you know, but this guy, he liked to go right across the back. Now, remember, I'm not racist. But, you know, this black guy whipping the shit out of me with a bunch of swastikas around.